Hello Ice and Fire Nerds, this is Chris, and Riddick and I were talking. Yeah, see, thinking the same thing. Say hello. So anyway, we were discussing things as far as Game of Thrones, and we were talking about A Dragon Raised by Wolves, and the last part we just put out, part 4, that James and I did, about the end game of Jon Snow and how this whole thing is going to end, really. And it got me to thinking about Sam and Gilly a little bit. Now before we get started, I also want to thank Geek Fuel for sponsoring today's video, and stick around to the end of this video and I'll be doing an unboxing here of January's Geek Fuel box. Also remember, if you check the link in the description below, geekfuel.com/smokescreen, you will get a Game of Thrones item in your very first box, no matter what month it is or what theme it is. So anyway, as I was saying, I was thinking about Sam, of course, being the information guy as he goes to the Citadel. He's going to try to figure out what's going on as far as what happened in the original Long Night. A lot of people think, you know, he's going to figure out the recipe for Valyrian steel, things like that. So I think Sam's definitely going to be important. But what about Gilly? So as I was saying, how important is Gilly going to be to this story? I definitely think Sam's going to be important, but why is Gilly in the story, baby Sam for that matter, and what's their role going to be? Now one thing that got me thinking that Gilly's probably going to be important in our story is she's kind of played up as stupid, you know, obviously she's ignorant being north of the wall. She didn't know how to read. She thought the word sea was because the sea was as far as the eye could see. You know, that type of thing. So that makes me think that she's going to be important in revealing some kind of piece of information. Now, personally, I think it could be a key piece of information as far as how Craster got involved with the White Walkers and actually made a deal with them. Now, in the books and the show, for that matter, Gilly's already let us know as far as, you know, Craster leaving his sons out to the White Walkers, to the gods, as she calls them. And in the books, as a matter of fact, he also leaves livestock as well. So what the hell do the White Walkers want with livestock? They have a language nobody can understand, but obviously he's living pretty safe beyond the wall before he's killed by the mutineers. He's living up there. He has been for years and years. Nobody bothers him. No whites bother him. No White Walkers. In the books, he gives them livestock and his sons. In the show, just his sons. But the point being is, how did he ever strike up a deal in the first place? Now, there are a lot of theories out there. There's theories that Craster could have other blood, and if you look back in the history in the books, all it's really said that Craster is a bastard son of a Night's Watch Ranger who laid with a wildling woman, and he's been living north of the wall ever since. Now, apparently, as far as history goes, his mother actually went down to the wall to show whoever his father was that he had a son, but it said in the books that the Night's Watch blew their horns and scared her away. And this was all information coming from Ygritte, as she told Jon that Craster had black blood and was cursed. So there are some parallels between Craster's current story, kind of like I mentioned in The Dragon Raised by Wolves, where he's kind of the modern day version of the Night's King story that we all know about. Of course, the original Night's King story, where he was the 13th Lord Commander of the Night's Watch. He fell in love with an other woman, supposedly, where he took over the Night Fort for 13 years, proclaimed himself king, and basically held the Night's Watch hostage while he sacrificed children to the gods or to the others, being the White Walkers. So very similar stories there, and there are a lot of theories out there floating around that Craster perhaps could be some kind of weird offspring of the others and man, because it was said in legends that people actually slept with White Walkers to have these half-human children, and this being potentially true is actually brought up in the books. But then Jorah Mormont kind of looks at Jon and says, does he look like anything other than human to you? And Jon thinks, yeah, in half 100 ways, because he gives away his sons. So could Craster have some kind of other blood, or perhaps that's Stark blood, since we think there's a link between the Starks and the Night King, or the White Walkers, being an original proto-Stark, so to speak, as far as being the first White Walker created. I said in The Dragon Raised by Wolves, I think that's his connection to Jon on the ice side, that the original Night King, the first White Walker, was in fact some kind of proto-Stark that likely has some kind of green seer abilities. So you definitely have some parallels here between the original Night's King story and the relatively recent Craster story. So how does Gilly play into all this? We believe she's already told us everything she could as far as what Craster's done, but Gilly may not know any of this information, being relatively young, and Craster is an old man. It said he's near the end of his life, so he's an older guy that's been giving away his sons for a long time, apparently 99 of them. So Gilly may or may not know, but I think it's very possible that when Sam and Gilly are at the Citadel, when he's trying to put together the pieces to figure out what happened in the original Long Night and how men supposedly defeated the White Walkers, I think he'll realize it was probably some kind of pact or a truce that involves sacrifice, and Gilly may come up with something and realize, you know what, wait a minute, I think this is how he originally did it, because maybe he told those stories to other people. So Gilly herself may actually hold some important information she may have heard through some older sister on how Craster originally set up this agreement with the White Walkers, or at least stumbled upon it somehow. So perhaps we're focusing on Sam a little too much as he goes to the Citadel to learn all the secrets and information about the Long Night, the White Walkers, how to defeat them, etc., when Gilly perhaps has had some more important information right there the entire time. So if that's the case, perhaps Sam does figure out some stuff at the Citadel, but then get some input from Gilly as well, and that may be when they actually leave Old Town and head over to Winterfell to try to find Jon, or wherever Jon's going to be for that matter, and try to get the news to him about the original pact, to at least enable Jon and the leaders of this new War for the Dawn to make some kind of decision about what to do and how to defeat them, or come up with another pact in some way, shape, or form. Although I certainly don't think that Jon and those leaders are going to be okay with sacrificing kids. I know there's also a lot of people out there that perhaps think that at the end of this thing, Sam will be reading the tales of all this that's gone down to little Sam or something to that effect, and that's certainly a possibility, but we still need an ending for him to tell. So anyway, guys, let me know what you think in the comments below. Will Gilly have some more importance here other than just being a love interest for Sam? But before we go, let me get to this Geek Fuel box. This is January's box, and let's unbox this thing and see what we have. So let me just open this Geek Fuel box up. I have not even cracked the little tape here, so let me cut this seal. Gonna be a complete surprise to me, so let's open this bad boy up and see what we got. All right, so first thing as usual is Geek Fuel magazine. And this is awesome because it has Carrie Fisher. Very cool. Carrie Fisher, and a little tribute to her on the back there. And so Geek Fuel magazine, all kinds of cool stuff in there. I'll check that out later. Lay that right over here. Alright, and the first thing here is a Q-Fig The Flash figurine. That's pretty cool. It is a DC theme apparently, so this is The Flash. I don't know if you can see that there. So anyway, this is the first figure I've gotten. DC Comics, and apparently they have also Superman and Wonder Woman, so if you're a DC fan this month, that's pretty cool. Alright, and next in here, kind of loose, is just this little, oh cool, it's a little Princess Leia pin. I don't know if you can see that. Just a little regular pin, but you can see clearly that's Princess Leia with her little buns on the side there. So a little tribute pin to Carrie Fisher. Next we have this month's pin, and this is He-Bot, and it's kind of sideways in the package, so I don't know if you can see that, but this is basically a He-Man pin, a He-Man themed pin. So if you remember last month, we got an R2-D2 style, and then another one as well. So this is the Geek Fuel robot, but they put these different little themes on them, and this month it is apparently He-Man, so there's a He-Man and a Skeletor. Alright, so next here we have what looks like to be the monthly game. You are guaranteed a downloadable game from Steam every month, and we have Ninja Pizza Girl. So there's Ninja Pizza Girl, and on the back here, I'll cover mine up, but you do have the code here to download your game from Steam. That's the cool thing about Geek Fuel. You're guaranteed a t-shirt and a game, a downloadable game from Steam every single month. So Ninja Pizza Girl, not sure if I'll dig that or not, but I'll check it out. Alright, so let's see what we got here in our, looks like the Geek Fuel exclusive item this month. If I can open it without tearing it up. Rupee Soap. So Rupee Soap, I don't know if you can see that there. Rupee Soap. So if you can see that, Rupee Soap. Blue, green, and red. And it actually smells pretty damn nice. So that's some damn nerd shit right there, to even have your shower or bathroom decorated in nerd stuff. So maybe that's a little shout out to Zelda there. I'm not sure. Rupees are in a lot of games. So anyway, Rupee Soap. That's interesting for sure. And last but not least, we have a shirt, which is a monthly guarantee, and this one is, oh, cool, K2SO from Rogue One. That's K2SO from Rogue One. You can see that right there. Got the little X-Wing in the middle, and K2SO's kind of silhouette. And on the back here, you have the Imperial logo there with K2SO's head in the center. So a K2SO Star Wars Rogue One t-shirt this month, and this is on black. Pretty damn cool. I kind of like that droid, so I'm pretty happy with that. And as usual with all Geek Fuel boxes, you do get the little card here that tells you everything you have. So again, this is the shirt here, and it tells you exactly what's going on with that. Shows you what it looks like in men and women's. And then you have all the various stuff, the Rupee Soap, the pins, and the figures that you could potentially get. And it looks like you have an option here of the Arrow, the Flash, Harley Quinn, Mr. Freeze as well. So, and then also the downloadable game. So anyway, guys, that's it. A whole lot of cool stuff, and again, a Marvel and DC theme, and apparently a little Star Wars Carrie Fisher tribute as well. Anyway, guys, that'll do it. That's Geek Fuel for the month of January. Again, you have multiple options apparently on that figure, so if you're into DC and Star Wars, this is a pretty good damn month. And if you like to take showers and baths and keep clean and all that type of stuff as well, you might enjoy the soap. So anyway guys, let me know what you think in the comments below. Will we see Gilly play a more important role? Is she just there as a love interest to Sam? I don't think so. I think she's got a little bit more to offer. So perhaps she hadn't thought about it, or Sam hasn't put the pieces together yet to even ask how Craster originally started this deal with the White Walker in the first place. Let me know what you think in the comments below. As usual guys, thank you for all the support, especially you guys on Patreon. A huge shout out to my Patreon executive smokescreen producers, Guy10, Lala Gig, and Kisa Powell. Thank you guys so much. Be sure to subscribe to get everything. Make sure you click that subscription bell as well to get notified when I drop a new video. People are not being notified when new videos dropped. And if you were subscribed to Smokescreen already, make sure you still are, because YouTube is still broken apparently. So anyway guys, let me know what you think. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.